By ensuring that the proposition that we offer international investors is one that is sustainable and competitive. That has two different elements. The first element is how we invest in our country's future, and a big part of that is using the period since our crash to significantly increase investment in our schools, our universities, our public transport. And then the second element of it is to have an outlooking proposition that is attractive for international investors to be here. And with the amount of change that's taking place in the world, I think what now Ireland is offering in certainty in a number of key policy areas is increasingly attractive.
The US is front and centre when it comes to foreign direct investment here in Ireland, and yet just last week the US Treasury Department decided to add Ireland to a list of countries on an economic watch list, essentially pointing to your trade surplus in goods. I know you've already publicly pointed out that there's a deficit when it comes to services. How concerned should investors and businesses be about that watch list, do you think? And how can Mr. Varadkar bring that up today with Mr. Trump?
So to deal with investors first, I think since the focus on President Trump's trade policy has grown, we've actually seen more international investors and companies want to be present here in Ireland. And I think that is a reflection of the fact that if you're an American company looking to export into Europe, Ireland offers a very good launch pad and gateway for doing that. Secondly, in terms of how the Taoiseach may address this issue, I think it is part of just stressing to President Trump that if he wants American companies to be able to export successfully either to Europe or to elsewhere in the world, Ireland has a number of properties that make that an attractive place to do. In addition to that, we want to look at how we can deepen Irish investment and Irish job creation in America across the coming years. We want trade that is mutually beneficial to both America and Ireland. And I believe that's the approach the Taoiseach would take if this issue were to be developed.
Now, of course, Ireland is part of the European Union. The European Union is preparing to start its own trade negotiations with the US. Right now, though, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, the top 10 corporate taxpayers here in Ireland are responsible for almost half of your country's tax take. And I wonder, how vulnerable do you think that leaves your economy to trade shocks?
We have, as a very open and very globalised economy, anything that happens in global trade does have an effect on the performance of our economy. And there is a vulnerability that could develop there into the future. So to deal with your question in terms of what we're going to do about it, there's three things we need to do about it. The first one is look at how we can develop more resilience in our domestic economy. And what is encouraging now is we're seeing growth in domestic consumption of around 3 to 4% per year, which we haven't had for a long time. Number two, make sure our national finances are as resilient as possible. They were balanced last year. We need to look at how we can improve that this year. And then finally need to ensure that our exporting sector is as diverse as possible, so that if a shock does develop in a particular sector, that we're participating in many parts of the global economy. That's the case at the moment, but it's certainly something that we need to continue to monitor and strengthen across the coming years.
You'll understand why I want to keep asking about trade, given how important that is to investors at the moment. Yesterday in London, President Trump indicated he'd press ahead with fresh tariffs on Mexico. Do you think that investors looking at Ireland as a place to potentially park their money should be concerned about the protectionist nature of this current US administration?
Well, I would make the case that if they are concerned about volatility, about change of policy, about lack of predictability in global trade or indeed tax policy, that's the reason as to why Ireland is an attractive place to be located in and to create employment in. We'll see much change taking place in other parts of the world. We can manage that change in a more predictable way here in Ireland. But then in terms of a global risk that we have to acknowledge is developing, I just would retreat back to the 3 points that I made earlier on in terms of balancing our national finances, a domestic economy that is growing again, and also an export performance that is more diversified, as ways in which Ireland is going to handle a risk that, of course, is now there.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.